Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers urged to consider targeting speedy $12 million WR. It does not appear that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be able to acquire wide receiver Courtland Sutton from the Denver Broncos. But Steelers Now's Nick Farabaugh suggested a new potential trade target for Pittsburgh New York Giants wideout Darius Slayton. Farabaugh argued the Steelers could pursue Slayton to start along with budding star receiver George Pickens. This could be an under-the-radar strong move for the Steelers if they were willing to cough up some draft capital, Farabaugh wrote. Slayton is still on an affordable deal, and a new contract will not break the bank. Theoretically, the team will want to pay George Pickens after this season, and Slayton's contract does not prevent them from doing that, even in the event of a new deal. Farabaugh noted that Slayton has never eclipsed the 800-yard mark in his 5-year NFL career. But, he's been very consistent, posting 700 or more receiving yards in 4 of his 5 seasons. At the 2019 NFL Combine, Slayton ran the 40-yard dash in 4.39 seconds. Only 5 wideout prospects finished the 40-yard dash in under that time at the 2024 NFL Combine. As Farabaugh mentioned, Slayton needs a new deal after this season. But he will likely be affordable. His current contract is a 2-year deal worth $12 million. The contract included a $3.5 million signing bonus. It would not at all be surprising to see the Steelers both draft a receiver and acquire a veteran before the start of training camp. That's because based on 2023 production, the Steelers' receiving core is quite bare. Pittsburgh signed veterans Van Jefferson and Quez Watkins after trading Deontay Johnson in March. But Jefferson and Watkins combined for only 351 receiving yards last season. Both are signed to league minimum contracts and are not guaranteed to make the final roster. Without Johnson, the Steelers have only one receiver on its current roster that had more than 209 receiving yards last season. That was Pickens, who led the NFL in yards per reception during 2023. That's one of Slayton's strengths as well. He's averaged 15.1 yards per catch in his career. Slayton has also posted at least 15 yards per catch in 4 of his 5 seasons. Slayton recorded those statistics as the Giants' #1 receiver. He will only benefit if he gets to play with Pickens in 2024. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac wrote in a fan chat on April 17 that the Steelers have pursued San Francisco 49ers receiver Brandon Aiyuki this offseason. The Steelers have also been mentioned as a candidate to target Sutton, who didn't report to Denver's voluntary offseason workouts on April 16. But the possibility of either receiver landing in Pittsburgh has been dispelled one way or another. 49ers general manager John Lynch told reporters on March 25 that the team was actively engaging Aiyuki in contract negotiations and working toward an extension. On April 20, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported despite multiple trade inquiries, the Broncos do not plan to trade Sutton. Either Aiyuki or Sutton would be superior receiving targets for the Steelers to acquire. But acquiring either would take more draft capital than it would for Slayton. Both Aiyuki and Sutton also project to be more expensive on their next deals. Therefore, Slayton could actually be a preferred option. With him, the Steelers could land a #2 receiver while keeping its best 2024 draft capital and still have salary cap space to sign Pickens next offseason. First call, Steelers may have first-round trade-down partner, if they want. Another team fends off WR trade rumors. Monday's First Call has a draft day trade idea for the Pittsburgh Steelers. More news on a potential Steelers trade target from the wide receiver talent pool. The Pirates may be facing the wrong team at the wrong time. And an ex-Pirates pitcher is mowing down the National League. Since the Steelers have so many needs that they would like to address over the first 2 days of the NFL draft, trading down in the first round to pick up an extra selection may not be a bad idea. That would be especially true if one of the many coveted first-round tackles or one of the top 3 centers, Graham Barton, Jackson Powers-Johnson or Zach Frazier, are still projected to be on the board beyond the club's current draft position of number 20. If general manager Omar Khan is so inclined, he may have a trade partner that makes sense. Tampa Bay Buccaneers general manager Jason Licht said he might be interested in trying to trade up, depending on what the board looks like once the first round gets to roughly the 20th pick. Around pick 20, we'll know if we want to start attempting to move up or not, Licht said via the team's website. That said, it sounds as if Licht may be resistant to trading away his stash of picks. I really have a lot of trust in my staff, both the coaching staff and the scouting staff, and how we've been operating, Licht added. Those picks seem pretty important to me, right now. As of now, Tampa holds number 26 in the first round and number 57 in the second round. Like the Steelers, they also have 2 picks in the third round, numbers 89 and 92. The Steelers are sitting on numbers 20, 51, 84, and 98. Trading down in the first round has not happened frequently for the Steelers. The last time the franchise made that move was in 2001, dropping from 16 to 19. The club wound up with 5-time Pro Bowler Casey Hampton. For those that still have trading for a starting caliber wide receiver on their Steelers off-season wish list, Ryder pauses to raise hand. Courtland Sutton may not be available after all. Last week it appeared that Sutton might be on the NFL trade block given some apparent contract angst. He's staying away from the team's voluntary workouts. But the Denver Broncos tried to quell that storyline last week when GM George Paton said that Sutton is in a good place. Now ESPN Jeremy Fowler is posting that the Broncos have no plans on trading Sutton despite multiple inquiries. Last season, Sutton led the Broncos with 59 catches, 772 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Sutton is reportedly working out in Florida after off-season ankle surgery. His base salary for 2024 is $13 million. The total cap number in Denver currently is $17.39 million according to Over the Cap. Steelers watch, pressure could force Brandon Aiyuk trade. After weeks and weeks of speculation, the Brandon Aiyuk rumors involving the Pittsburgh Steelers could come to a head in a few short days when the NFL draft begins. Aiyuk has long been linked to the Steelers as a possible piece to bolster their wide receiver room. The Steelers' wide receiver room is currently one of the most bare in the NFL, having a tandem of George Pickens and Calvin Austin. The Steelers must find options to improve this segment of their offense, and they've looked all over. NFL insider Ari Meirov believes that the timeline for an Aiyuk trade will line up with the beginning of the draft. However, if Aiyuk is not dealt by the end of day 2, Meirov believes he will stay with the 49ers into the upcoming season. I would not say the San Francisco 49ers want to move Brandon Aiyuk, but the draft will be a critical pressure point in this saga. Aiyuk wants a top market receiver contract, and the 49ers are nowhere close to that right now, Meirov wrote. If the 49ers still have Aiyuk on the roster after Friday, that should signal they are confident they'll bridge the gap. As a member of the 49ers in 2023, Aiyuk caught 75 passes for 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns as one of 2 primary targets for quarterback Brock Purdy. One aspect that could make an impact is the departure of assistant GM Adam Peters from the 49ers to the Washington Commanders, who was integral in 49ers draft day operations from 2017 to 2023. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.